we gotta get into this book because I have never read a book that has put me on an emotional roller coaster the way Addicted to You has. So let's get into it. Hello, my name is Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Come on in, get comfortable because today we are talking about the infamous Addicted to You. As you can see, this book is heavily annotated because everyone and their mom talks about how good this book is. This in the whole Addicted / Calloway Sisters series, and I wanted to see what it was about and if I should keep going. This book will have semi-spoilers because I just feel like everyone has heard and or talked about this book. And I just wanted to see if it was up to the hype because, you know, I am on the hunt for some of the best books. This book is about Lily and Lo, and they are in a fake relationship with each other. They have been friends for a lot of years growing up. But what their family does not know is that Lo basically is an alcoholic and Lily is a sex addict. And from what I believe, they have just been using their story as being in a relationship as a way to enable and cover up the fact that their addictions benefit each other. So while Lo is an alcoholic, he has one of those addictions where it's like you can see the effects that it has on the body, and his is a little bit more dangerous in the fact that he can only drink so much before it gets dangerous. And Lily doesn't go a day without having sex. And I don't want to downplay her addiction because it literally stops her and consumes her so much that she has broken away from her family, barely sees them, can't keep promises, will be in class watching porn or at her sister's event and needing to leave because the urge to like have an orgasm is stronger than her being present in her relationships. But my thing with the two of them is that their addictions benefit each other. It's a reason why they don't tell each other why they have the addictions they have to the very end of this book. And I'm not the type of person that likes to blame someone else for someone else's addiction. Lo is 100% responsible for his addiction, just as Lily is 100% responsible for her addictions. Are there factors and things and people that play into it? Absolutely. But Lily isn't responsible for Lo's addiction. But her feeling bad wasn't enough reason for her to want to stop him or even acknowledge the fact that this is a problem, because as long as he drinks, they're able to have a system, and the system is she goes out multiple nights a week with different kinds of guys. He doesn't question it, and every time that he goes out, she is responsible for making sure that he gets home safe. They have a well-oiled system, and if he was to break outside of said system, then she would have to confront her addiction as well. So it didn't matter what happened to him at the end of the night, as long as she got to play her role and she still got to get her orgasm. It didn't really matter to him. And it's like in that situation, because she is the sober person in the situation, there is a little bit more accountability on her part, because most of the time when she's fueling her addiction before they actually got together, she was on her own. And it just made me realize that Lily was a whole lot of selfish in this book. Again, she's not responsible, but she is selfish for the role that she played. And I was just like, My problem with this book is that as the story progresses, they go from fake dating to real dating. And it's so hard to watch two people who are very much consumed by their addictions try and make it seem like, oh, if we get together, I'll tone down my addiction a little bit and my focus will go on to you and it'll help fix us. And we don't really have to talk about it. It was very naive of them, but it was also really hard to watch because it's like, y'all don't need to be together. You need help. Of course, there were some insecurities because Lo was always wondering, if I can't give in to her sexual desires, is she going to cheat on me? And it was always at the back of his mind, and sometimes in their arguments, because when he gets drunk, we have to talk about the fact that he gets angry. He gets mean. And I'm not just talking about the scene where he drinks those other people's alcohol and they're about to get into an actual fistification in the backyard. But even it was like some scenes before that when they were at the club, he would just like, his words would be so harsh towards her. And Lily did not deserve that because he is suffering with a whole lot of issues, with daddy issues, with mommy issues, with self-worth issues. Not feeling like he's in the right place in life was not a good enough reason to take it out on Lily. So I'm not saying Lily is all to blame here because he's terrible as well. In the book, She says, being in a real relationship was supposed to fix the kinks in our lives. It should have made our problems easier. We no longer have to pretend. We can be ourselves. We're free from one lie. Isn't this the part where our love overcomes our addictions, where our problems magically solve from a kiss and a promise? No one told me you can love someone and still be miserable. And it was just like so naive of them to really think that if she can put all her focus on just having sex with him, her addictions, those thoughts in her back of her head and stuff would just go away. No. Or that he would tone down his drinking, and instead of drinking like whiskey straight from the bottle with an ice cube, he would go to beers. And it was just like, no. And then not only that, their whole personalities were their addictions. They brought nothing else to the relationship besides their addictions. How did y'all expect to this being a healthy relationship? And you also cannot sell me on the idea that they're soulmates. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's what I don't like, that people was just like, they're always meant to be. It was no one else but you. How are they soulmates? So you telling me addicts can be soulmates? Absolutely not, because the only thing you're consumed with is the thing that's controlling you. You don't have anything else to give to that relationship. You can't even show up for your family, but you're going to tell me they soulmates? That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. And so not only was nothing about their relationship romantic, anytime something around smut or sex came up, I was so uncomfortable. I would skip over scenes where they start to get into it with each other because I couldn't, like, what is this? Him fueling her sex addiction? Absolutely not. This was not 100% consensual relationship between two people in a relationship. Let's not fool ourselves. This was him fueling her sexual desire, because if he didn't fulfill it, he was scared that she was going to go get it by someone else. Okay, that's enough of the stuff I didn't like. Let's talk about what I did like, because this book really got good after we were introduced to Connor. Connor is this very smart, self-absorbed. He has very high esteem of himself. And then he becomes Lily's tutor. And I felt like even though he had this like very pompous attitude, he was a breath of fresh air to breaking up the monotony of them fueling each other's addictions. Okay. I can't wait to read about Connor and Rose. From the brief stuff we got from this book, I think I'm going to be really excited about seeing their relationship, because I did like how he even at her like runway show or whatever it was, where Lily couldn't even sit through that and her and Lo dipped out, and Lily wanted to go talk to Rose and he protected her and he was like, absolutely not. I was just like, oh, this is good. I am excited about them. And then when we met Reich at the party because he saved Connor, Lily, and Lo from getting beat up. And then I thought it was weird that he just like jumped in with their crew, from people who like had no friends to like her openly accepting Reich. Granted, she did owe him, but it was just strange how invested he was in Lo's health. Granted, I'm glad that he was, because had it not been for Reich, no one would have said anything. I think Connor would have just went with the flow and maybe said something to Rose, but Reich was the one who went to Lily, not knowing that she was struggling with an addiction herself, to be like, are you just okay with this? With him drinking himself to death like this? Are you not going to say anything? And I was just like, it like sort of teetered on the line of him blaming her, but it was enough to like get it going, because had it not been for Reich, nothing would have happened. And I'm just like, thank God. And then we learn at the end why he was so invested, because he's actually Lo's brother. And I was like, that makes so much sense. And like uncovering and figuring that out was so much fun to read. Like, I'm telling you, once we meet Connor, everything picks up from there, because we have new characters, we have new storylines, we have new opinions, their addictions ramp up, and all of that was good. But I do think this book does a good job of talking about the complexities, the harsh realities, the denial, the frustration, the anger that comes with being addicted to something and watching someone deal with that and hiding the secrets and family finding out and how they respond. And so I really, really enjoyed this, even though some things really frustrated me and I was really disgusted by their relationship and really turned off by the sex and the way they were fueling each other and the alcohol. I would love to see what their relationship looks like as two new healed people without it being just because we have history. Their relationship worked because they had history, and I guess that's why people really go up for Lilo, because I'm like, other than that, this is not a couple that I think highly about. But my rating of this book, I go back and forth because this was enjoyable. Not the best, but enjoyable. So I give it a solid 4-star rating. Not like a high 4-star. This is like a low 4-star, but it is still solid. So let me know your opinions of Addicted to You and what you thought about it and how you felt about their relationships and their addictions and stuff like that. Did you keep going? Have you read the entire series? Let me know. But if nothing else, I will see you in the next one. Bye.